What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle with Jesse W. And today we're going to go over a couple of things. We're going to go over one short story of one of my biggest wins, plus one of my biggest failures in business, not in stock trading. And we're going to go over how to start and open a business checking account without having to spend a whole lot of money or jumping through a ton of hoops. Check it out. What's going on, guys? Hey, before we get started, do me one quick favor. Smash that like button and subscribe so you can stay tuned to every single one of my uploads. All right, it really helps me out, lets me know that you're interested in what I'm putting out here as far as content goes when you subscribe. I know a lot of you guys watch the videos, you participate in the comment section, you give thumbs up, you like the video, but there's like a lot of you that aren't subscribing. You do check in every once in a while and watch some of the videos, but you're not subscribing. Do me that quick favor, subscribe to the channel, help me continue growing this channel and reaching more people, all right? We all need to help out each other. This is a big business world and it's like dog eat dogs, but we don't have to be like that. We can actually help one another grow as we continue this entrepreneur adventure. Now, let's jump right on into this. Back in 2011, I launched one of the very first CBD oil retailers online, okay? I was a retailer and I was a wholesaler. I was one of the very first to launch online a CBD business that sold CBD products made from hemp that could go to every single state, basically. Okay, so that was way back in 2011. I was like one of the very first, basically one of the first to pioneer and jump into the industry. Now, what happened was we were doing extremely well. There was a point in time where you would just go to Google and type in CBD vapor oil, and I would be one of the very first, if not the first, that would pop up on the Google search. And we were getting lots and lots of orders because of this. I did a lot of drop shipping, and I had a lot of product at the time on hand as well that I was able to sell, since I was also a wholesaler. So we were doing really well. And basically our first year in business, we did excellent. We had real good revenue. We had good constant orders coming through daily. We had good customer retention. The website was awesome. It could sustain the growth. We had a business checking account. We had a credit card processing bank, that was processing all our credit cards here in the US, super low rates. The gateway was super smooth, wasn't expensive at all. And I mean, guys, it was looking like that business was going to be huge. And then all of a sudden, about a year later, banks shut down on processing credit cards for all CBD retailers, all of them. I'm talking about, at that point, hundreds. Even my own retailers that would buy from me on the wholesale side of my business, they were shut down. I was shut down. Banks did not want to process credit cards for us. This royally sucked in a huge way. It hurt us tremendously. It took about a year. From that point, it took about a year before I was able to get another credit card processing business to start processing credit cards for us online again. By that point, I had lost a ton of my clientele. I mean, an absolute ton. I basically had lost at that point all my wholesalers, that bought from me, all my retailers that bought from me on the wholesale side. And I definitely had lost a bunch of my retail customers. Why? Where did they go, right? Well, when all of us went down, as far as not being able to process payments, a bunch of smaller retailers started to pop up. They were using, websites like 3D Car, Shopify, and other websites, and they were putting other vapor products into their website, and then slowly they were introducing CBD products into it. And their processor at the time, be it anything, basically PayPal to any other bank, was really none the wiser, not realizing what was going on. So these businesses were able to grow quickly because they were filling the market gap that we left when we got shut down as far as the processing of cards went, of credit cards. So they were able to grow and take over the market. This kind of sucked for us who started the industry. So like fast forward that year, we got a brand new merchant on. Had to redo my entire website so that the merchant's gateway would work with that. The rates were way higher. They held a reserve. So they held 10% of whatever we processed as a reserve in case of any chargebacks, etc., because they considered it, and they still consider it, a high-risk business. So that kind of like strangled the life of the business, right? Because we had already lost a lot of customers. Now our cash flow wasn't as strong anymore because of the simple fact that the monthly expenses to continue with that new merchant were pricey. The startup fee, because you had an application fee, was expensive. It was $1,000. That's ridiculous just to board the account, you know. Then they had a 10% reserve. So if I had a $100 order, they kept 10% in a reserve account, and that reserve account was always there. Like, it never went away. They always kept that money. Then if I had a big order on my wholesale side of business, whereas wholesale, you don't have huge margins, they would take that 10% as well if I processed through them, which I tried always not to do that. So if I had a $1,000, $2,000 wholesale order, they were taking $100, $200 from that for the reserve as well. So it really strangled the life out of the business, because you coupled that decrease in revenue because they kept that money, coupled with the fact that we had already lost a lot of clients over that year gap of no credit card processor that would take us on. I mean, you can tell. I mean, it doesn't take you didn't need to go to Harvard Business School to figure out that's bad for business. So we continued trucking on through. I got rid of pretty much all of my inventory, thank God, and was able to pay off my credit card that I had initially purchased the products with, and I was basically back at flat. So thank God, I was able to get back to flat because, well, I mean, it cost money to start that business. You know what I'm saying? We were $20,000 invested into that business to start, and it took time to recoup all that. Thank God we were able to recoup all that and get back to flat, get back to even, because we were also putting all the money right back in the business. So all our revenue, all our profits were going right back in the business. We were taking no distributions, we were taking no salaries. We're just boom, back in the business, back in the business, back in the business, because it looked like it was going to blow up. So I wanted to not make the same mistakes I've made in past businesses when I had started very young on my entrepreneur journey, and I wanted to make sure that business grew. So in order for that business to grow, I couldn't constrict its cash flow. I wanted to put everything back into it. And that's what happened this time around. So why am I even talking about this, right? Well, I mean, there's stuff to learn from in there. Always be ready for the worst case scenario. And I'm looking to get that business back up off the ground. Never thought I would do it again, but I still own the domain, and it is an awesome domain, cbdoilconnection.com. And I still have all my contacts and new contacts, and I can actually do this via drop shipping now, which I used to do a little drop shipping back then. I also used to drop ship for my retailers. So I'm looking forward to possibly doing that again. But I did not want to go back into this business on the heavy as far as putting another $20,000 into it. I wanted to do this how maybe somebody that's never started a business would start one. Okay, so I wanted to do this with as little money as possible, a lot of my own work, and being as thrifty as possible to launch. So one of the things that you need in order to launch a new business is a business checking account, so that the processing company that's going to do your credit cards is going to process your credit card payments or your e-check payments, which is what I'll probably start doing to launch the business, needs to be able to deposit money into that account for you whenever a customer buys. Now, if you go somewhere like Bank of America, they're going to want you to have a minimum of anywhere between $1,500 to $5,000, I think it is, average in your check in that business checking account, which is what I used to have back then. It wasn't a big deal because it was a good sized business and there was money in there. But if you're starting from scratch and you need to go this direction, then you don't want to have $1,500, $5,000 just sitting there. And if you don't have to spend $250 with their credit card to avoid fees, then you don't want to have to do that either. Otherwise, you would have, I believe it's $17 a month in expenses of fees just because you have a business checking account with them. So there had to be a better way, right? There has to be another way to get this done. And I found one, and I'm going to share it with you right now. So check this out. All right, guys. So what we have here is U.S. Bank checking business account. They have 4 tiers here, as you can tell. And what we're going to talk about mainly is the silver tier. Why are we going to talk about the silver tier? Well, it's the one that requires the less amount of things, and it's free. It's completely free. You set up your account online, and this is what you get. You get free combined transactions of 150 transactions a month. This includes your checks that you deposit, your ACH that that your bank, your processing company deposits for you. So like whenever they close out the batch for the day or for the week or however they pay you, and they send you your money from that your customer paid you, be it credit card or e-check, that's what that is. So you get 150 of those free a month, which is pretty damn good. I mean, if your processor sends you just one batch every night at 12 o'clock at night when the day ends, then that's 30 batches. That's 30 batches they're going to send you in the month. So you still have a boatload of free transactions to do. Anything over the 150, they do charge you a 50-cent transaction fee. Let's see here. They do allow up to 25 cash deposits a month for free. So that's pretty cool. They give you a discount on your first check order, free mobile check deposits. That's awesome. You can just use their app. And, you have a Platinum Business Money Market account, access to that. They'll give you card payment processing. So that's really good. Personal package checking. I mean, small business credit card. You get all the good stuff, all the standard. If you want paper statements, they do charge you. But the hell do you want paper statements for? Just have it emailed to yourself. And that's pretty much it, guys. They have here other fees, but these other fees are pretty miscellaneous. You'd have to review them here in more detail, but the gist of it, as you can tell, is the most important part. 150 free transactions, 25 free cash deposits, 50 discounts on your first checks, up to $50, 50% off, 50% discount on gold personal package checking, monthly maintenance fee if you go that route. So you can start a business checking account completely for free. Now, if you went to like Bank of America business checking account, let's take a look here. So why? So see here, they would charge you $17 a month unless you met one of these two things. You spend at least $250 a month on your debit or credit card that they will provide you, or you have an average monthly balance of $5,000. If you don't want to do this and you do not qualify for this, then you have to pay this every month, unless you go with something like this over here that we just went over. This is completely free and you get a bunch of transactions. This is the route I'm going to go to start up my business again. And let me show you my website real quick. This is going to be completely different next time you see it. CBDOilconnection.com. I did not spell it right. Spell much, Jesse? Thank God I'm a salesman and a stock trader, right? Here's my website coming up. This is going to be completely different next time you see it. That's it right there. These are all the products I used to carry. Well, not all of them. There's much more. These are some customer testimonials. And here are all the different types of products that I used to carry right here. There's going to be a whole bunch of new products that I'm going to be carrying as soon as we relaunch. And honestly, I can't wait. I'm super pumped up for this because it is a huge business. and you're gonna really like this. We're gonna go through it together step by step from the moment I do that account to the moment that I start working on my website. And I'm gonna show you what it takes to launch a very simple dropshipping business from home. So you're gonna wanna make sure you subscribe so you can follow along and see what it takes and how to get it done step by step, how to open up a dropshipping business from home very easily. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.